talk about what's plaguing most of us in today's world. So, today I want to talk a little bit about this thing called the inability to lose weight. You may have noticed as you get older that it gets harder and harder to lose weight. And no matter what you've tried, all the things you've tried in the past aren't working anymore. And you're just frustrated as to what happened to you, your metabolism, and your weight. And so let's take a moment this morning together and really understand that the food world you and I are living in today is broken. Everywhere you turn, it seems like processed sugary foods are there everywhere, no matter where we go, and foods that are cheap, convenient, and designed to make you crave more food. Isn't that amazing? They're giving us food that's making us crave more. That's a great business model. Good morning, Maria, and welcome in everybody else who's hopping in. Maria, I love you so much. You're such a beautiful light in my world. Okay, so we have all of this food that's tastes great, but it's making us crave more food, and we end up overeating. But here's the thing. It's not what our bodies were built to thrive on. We were not built to thrive in this kind of environment with this kind of food. Your body was designed to feel its best on whole foods that fuel and nourish you, not foods that drain your energy or set you up for health problems down the road. And that's exactly the kind of food that we have today. All of the nutrients have been stripped out, or I shouldn't say all, that's pretty definitive. Most of the nutrients have been stripped out, modified out. Even the ones that are grown raw and organic are deficient in all of these nutrients. And it's leaving us feeling sick and tired and frustrated. So think about it. How often do you stop and grab a quick snack or a meal just to keep going through the busy day? And then you eat that meal, and then you end up even hungrier a half an hour later. For so many people, that's become the normal, even though it's far from healthy. Over time, relying on these kinds of foods leads to a hidden issue that affects millions of us, and that issue is insulin resistance. So, you guys, it's not, and I'm going to pause for a second. It doesn't have to be that difficult to get all of this under control. We just have to understand that yes, it is about the foods that we're eating, but it's also about the nutrients that are not in the foods that we're eating. And so it's almost impossible today to get all the nutrients we need unless you're growing your own food and all of that. So if we want to really give our bodies what it needs, we need to stop being food focused and start being nutrient focused and understand that it may take a little extra to get the nutrients in that we're meant to have and just are not getting in today's modern food environment. Does that make sense to everybody? Is everybody with me on that? Because this is the bottom line of why we're feeling so sick. Right now, 93% of people are impacted by insulin resistance in some way, and it's not just about gaining a few extra pounds and then having the inability to lose them. It's about feeling more tired than usual, having brain fog, having body aches and pains, having skin issues. I will be putting up a picture today of a young man who had cystic acne. And in 3 months on the system, his acne is already clearing up because the root cause of the cystic acne, the root cause of the inability to lose weight, is all the same thing, and it's insulin resistance. So, um, have you ever wondered why, no matter how much you diet or exercise, you still struggle with weight gain, fatigue, and cravings? Because I did. I remember 3.5 years ago sitting in a doctor's office, needed to have a hernia surgery. This little doctor, young, blonde, maybe 100 pounds soaking wet, rolled her eyes at me and said, "I will not do the surgery unless you can lose 15 pounds." I'm like, what difference is 15 pounds going to make? That was her caveat. She was the one that was recommended. They wouldn't do it unless I lost 15 pounds. I sat in that doctor's office and broke down in tears. And that's when she rolled her eyes at me, like, whatever, you just are. And you can tell. How many of you guys have been able to tell when you're struggling and you're doing all the things that are necessary, but somebody just doesn't believe you? They think you're like laying on the couch eating donuts all day. And that's frustrating. It's not only devastating to our physical appearance, it's devastating to our mental health. And the whole thing gets way out of whack. And they don't know because they haven't hit this metabolic insufficiency yet that we're all facing. Okay. So If that's you, give me some hearts or give me a one in the chat. So, um, 85268. I can't lose weight no matter what. I eat healthy, Mediterranean diet, vitamins, everything. Hang with me for just a second. In about 5, 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you what I did to actually start losing weight and regain all my health. And I want to assure you that it's not that hard. And science has given us a couple of products that help fill in those gaps so our metabolism can do what it's supposed to. Just bear with me. We're going to get there. Okay, so all of this should be a wake up call to all of us. But like I just said, it's not your fault. It's the industry, the diet, the food place that we're put into today. And you and I were part of a world that's been set up with foods that work against us. And so even when you're trying to eat healthy, when you think you're eating all the right things, when you're eating the things that they have labeled as healthy, it's not working. How many of you guys resonate with that? Do you get that? That like, and obviously you do. 852. I'm just going to shorten it. 852 because you've already commented that this is a struggle for you. So this system that I'm going to talk about has made it really easy. And I'm going to like the people on the picture up above. So I'm in the upper left-hand corner. My picture's kind of small. I've lost over 55 pounds. At my age, my whatever, that's amazing. I couldn't lose more than 5 pounds. That's why I broke down crying in that doctor's office. I'm going to finish that story. So I go into this doctor's office, need hernia surgery. She says, won't do the surgery unless you lose 15 pounds. I broke down sobbing, crying in tears. But I was determined, and I had just started the protocol that I'm going to share with you. And 3 months later, when we had the follow-up visit, because she gave me 3 months to get a hold of a nutritionist, to lose the 15 pounds, and then if I had done all that, she would schedule surgery. I walked into her office 3 months later, and I was down 25 pounds. I didn't change my diet. I didn't change anything, but I added nutrients in that my body needed to help with this thing called insulin resistance. She was shook. She actually told me after the surgery that she had told her PA that they weren't going to be performing this surgery for me because she knew that I wasn't going to be able to lose the weight. And they had a private conversation that it was just me. And she shared all this with me. And so then at that post-op, her last visit with me, she said, "What did you do? How did you manage it? Because I would have bet I would never be doing this surgery." And I told her what I did. And actually, I had told her I was going to be doing it when we first started. And she didn't believe me then. But after that, she was like, wow, I need to check this out. So it worked. My doctor saw it work. I no longer have to sit in a doctor's office in tears, feeling like I'm out of control. One more story before I continue with all this. I want you to understand, I worked for a doctor who was a specialist in hormones. We did every single test on me that was available. We did saliva, we did blood, we did urine, we did all of this, and we did metabolic testing. At the end of it all, when she had all of this stuff, hundreds and hundreds of dollars of tests out of my pocket, she calls me into her office and she said, Misha, I am so sorry. But you have a metabolic type that I just can't help. You will always be fat. You will always be sick. You will always be tired. And there's nothing I can do to help you. Now, how many of you would be devastated to have your doctor, especially one you work with, call you in and tell you that? And she was as upset as me. But I mean, for me at that point, I was like, yeah, this is the same old story I've been getting my whole life. It wasn't long after that, I'd say about a year after that, when I found the protocol, started it, and then actually started losing weight, ended up losing 55 pounds in 5 months. And it wasn't medications, it wasn't heavily restrictive things, it wasn't changing my entire diet. In fact, I still had hamburgers almost every day because I was driving for Lyft and Uber, and that was the only thing available while I was on shift. So there's that. All right. So we know that change is possible and that it all starts with simple conscious steps. So, number one thing you can do is focus on whole foods by supporting your metabolism in the right way. You can break free from the cycle. So, one easy step that you can do is to just focus on those whole foods. Look, once we cut it off the vine and wash it, that's processed. When we cook it, that's processed. What I'm talking about is getting rid of the ultra processed, highly processed foods. Take whole foods, cook them at home if you can, and try to limit those dietary excursions outside of that. That's going to help you tremendously. But I want you to understand that even when you do that, you're not getting the nutrients in that your body needs. Ultra processed foods, by the way, are anything that's bagged, boxed, or barcoded, or that's high processed, but especially the boxed foods. Most of those are ultra processed and they're not. Our body doesn't know what to do with those nutrients because they're not in the form our body has been designed to understand. So understand, ultra processed foods out. Start eating as much as you can that you cook yourself. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be expensive. And it actually is less expensive to do that. But if you want to get control of your metabolism and understand how to start losing weight and feeling better, it's a step you need to take, right? Change doesn't happen until you change something. Just the truth. So, um, I want you guys to just imagine now waking, because this was my reality. Imagine waking up every day feeling tired, even after what should have been a good night's sleep. You get up, you're dragging yourself out of bed, and the sluggishness that you feel isn't just something that goes away with a cup of coffee. In fact, sometimes the cup of coffee can make you jittery and make it worse. So the exhausting reality is that this is the reality for most of us. Most of people be dealing with insulin resistance feel this way, and yet we feel alone. So when you guys are talking to me about struggling with diet, struggling with weight, struggling with all of the issues that I hear people, do you feel like you're pretty much alone? Like all the people around you really don't understand it, they don't get it, they don't know what you've gone through. And this is reality because I felt that way too. It's okay to say, I feel alone in this. But I want you to know that you're not. Most of us, 93% of us, are struggling. We just don't like to talk about it. We don't like to share because we feel somehow incapable, insufficient, whatever, broken, something. We're not broken. Our food is broken. That's why our bodies are reacting the way they are. So, in that respect, it's not your fault. But I'm going to turn on a light bulb today. Now, after today, when you understand some of these things, you go back to what you were doing, then it's you have to have some culpability in the fact that now you know and you didn't make changes. Okay. So, um, insulin resistance. It's like being on an endless energy roller coaster. One moment you're crashing, and the next moment you're reaching for something sugary just to keep going, sugary, salty, a soda, something to keep going. How many of you guys have been stuck like that? Because that was my world, especially when I was driving for Lyft and Uber. There was no good food. This is what I would grab. I would grab a big old soda. I almost said a bad word. I would grab a bag of chips and I would grab something like a Snickers bar or Three Musketeers because I needed energy and my body was feeling so depleted. Those things were making it worse. It was all that was available. This is the problem with our modern. How many of you guys ever walk in someplace and find truly healthy, clean food available to you? You don't. You just don't. So, um, like I just said, those quick fixes don't last long. And then you're back where you started, searching for the next boost. And the cycle repeats day after day, leaving you feeling trapped. There's no way for your energy to stay stable when you're eating like that. Your body burns through that energy, gives you a spike, and then drops you to the floor like a wet noodle. And that's exactly how you feel. I mean, that's how I felt. And the food is causing that. And it's causing our cravings to go get more of that food. And I'm going to pause here too because it always triggers in the back of my mind. And I get it, you guys, because I was where most of you are now. I thought, I can't afford to do all of this stuff. It's so expensive. I can't afford to eat healthier. It's so expensive. When you start to understand what your body needs, you'll spend less on those emergency trips for a candy bar, a bag of chips, and a soda pop, or a coffee or a latte at Starbucks or whatever. You're going to spend less money on that, saving money, plus all the other downline stuff of saving money on your medications. It got me off of 13 medications. Just understand, it doesn't have to be that difficult, and you don't have to, it's not going to break your bank to get your health back. Okay, just focus on whole foods, please. Then Then there's this weight gain that you have. Besides feeling drained and tired and energyless and having brain fog and all of that, you start to feel like there's this weight gain that you just can't get off. And it's not for lack of trying. Most people with insulin resistance often do everything right and yet find it impossible to lose weight. And the struggle goes way beyond physical appearance. That frustration of working so hard only to feel like your own body is resisting you can be demoralizing. It was for me. Like I felt so inept. I just felt like there was something wrong with me. I was doing something wrong. It was all my fault. I didn't know why I was struggling. And then have doctors tell me they can't help me, and nutritionists tell me they can't help me, and gym bros tell me they can't help me. Can you imagine how alone, I'm sure that most of you can, that feels, and how devastating that feels to your health when all you want to do is be healthy and live a normal life and nobody seems to understand how to help you? Okay. So there you are. It's a cycle that keeps you stuck, making you feel powerless over your own health, and that constant hunger that you're feeling for all those snackety snacks, they don't help either, right? You're just feeling like you've got to eat all the time. In fact, that's one of the biggest things that people tell me is, Misha, there's no way I can do this. I'm so hungry all the time. And yet one of the first things they do is tell me, I feel better. We're going to get to the what you should do in just a minute. Yeah. So eat the whole foods. I'm going to share a protocol with you in just a minute that will tell you what I did and what's working for all of us up here. Cindy has now lost over 180 pounds. This young woman who does not want her name to be said, um, has lost over 60 pounds, and they both feel amazing, just like me, after doing this protocol and focusing on whole foods. But look, I talked earlier this week about the 80-20 rule. What happens right now is we're eating 80% of our food ultra processed and only 20%, if that, from real healthy food. So if we can switch that and focus on these whole foods and supplementing so that we understand that we're getting the right nutrients in 80% of the time, use those same supports, the nutrition supports, and still have the 20% of the time when you can have burgers, pasta, pizza, cake, go to parties, do all this stuff and feel normal. It can happen, and we're going to share that in just a minute. So hang on. I know you want to know. If you're really itching to know and you just can't hang out, go check out my profile. There's a link under my picture. There's a way to get a hold of me. There's a website. There's the system that I talk about there. So you can go take a look at that while I'm talking if you want. And then I'm going to get to it in just a little bit. Okay. But I just want you to understand that you don't have to keep feeling like this. That constant hunger doesn't help you. You can eat a full meal, but not even a half an hour later, your hunger creeps back, leaving you wondering if you're ever going to feel satisfied, and food becomes less about nourishment and more about simply trying to get through the day without crashing. Or food becomes this thing where we're looking for dopamine hits, ADHD here, and we're looking for a way to feel good in this constant uh, stress of our world, and we reach out for those sugary things that cue a little dopamine, make us feel happy for a second, but leave us feeling crashed. It's a cycle we've been thrown into, and the food industry knows what's happening. By the way, a lot of the talks that I'm going to do on the in-depth stuff, I'm moving to a page called Beating Insulin Resistance on Facebook. I will put a link to that page in my profile as well, because TikTok keeps narrowing limiting me when I talk about that stuff. I want to talk about it, but TikTok is limiting me every time I try to talk about the real science behind all of this. So join Beating Insulin Resistance on Facebook. We're going to have more of the background information on that there. Hey, Amory, it's good to see you this morning. I haven't seen you for such a long time. Okay, so if you're feeling like you're stuck in the cycle, that's not uncommon. All right. Most of us feel like we're stuck there. Again, 93% of us feel like we're stuck there. So, sorry, I got distracted by some people hopping in. So, our modern diets, full of highly processed and sugar laden foods, have set us up in this ordinary world where quick carbs are a lifeline, where weight loss feels impossible and health seems like something out of reach. So, let's get to it. Okay. So, If you're experiencing high blood pressure, brain fog, relentless hunger, stubborn weight, or even symptoms related to hormonal health like PCOS, erectile dysfunction, low testosterone, all of those, it's easy to feel like there's no hope for feeling better. But the crazy thing is, all of those things are linked to insulin resistance. So understand that. We're not going to get deep into insulin resistance today. We're not going to get deep into anything, but I'm going to give you the answer in a second. So the impact of insulin resistance doesn't stop with those things. Research shows it's also linked to increased risks of heart disease, cognitive decline, and type 2 diabetes. And those three things are devastating to your health as you get older. I'm 60, and I thought I wasn't going to be a viable uh, part of this world in another 5 years if I didn't change something because my health was so bad. So if so that's what it is with insulin resistance. So our modern food environment we know is causing us to be sick. There are solutions. So what are they? Often we're handed medications that address the symptoms without tackling the underlying cause. What I want you guys to understand before I get into the protocol is those medications you're being handed are not fixing anything. They're bandaging symptoms, but they're not addressing the root cause. No one in here is deficient in weight loss medications. Just go to what name is it? What name is what? Maria? I don't know what you're asking. Can you clarify for me, Maria, what you're asking? Okay. So, weight loss drugs, diabetes medications, blood pressure pills, cholesterol lowering meds, you're not deficient in any of those. Um, and understand that they're not fixing you. What you really want to do is address the root cause, and then you can start to see what the reality is. It won't let you. Oh, the it's beating insulin resistance. I will pull the page up and show it at the end of this live. Um, or just check back with my link. I should have done it before. I will make sure a link to that group is in my link tree after this live. It will only take me a minute to get it up. So Maria, just hang on, give me this live and we'll get that link up for you. Okay. So it's no wonder you feel hopeless. Our food system has set us up for failure. Our medications are not fixing things. They're not addressing the root cause. In fact, a lot of times those medications are making your insulin resistance worse. It's why you have to have more and more and more, why they keep increasing your dosages. Okay. So that's the reality for most of us. I was on 13 different medications and I was caught in a cycle of dependence on temporary fixes. And that's just like most of us are. So feeling like true health is out of reach was where I was. And I think that most of us feel that way. It's exhausting, it's frustrating, and it's easy to feel defeated when it seems that every solution just brings you back to square one. And those medications are definitely just bringing you back to square one. There's a whole other talk on that. We'll talk about that in beating insulin resistance, the dangers of some of these medications and why they're actually damaging your muscle health and your bone health and all of that. And there's science behind all of that. So you're told to control your cravings, yet you're given foods that drive those cravings and you're advised to exercise and eat right. But even when you do those things, those healthy choices are difficult to maintain in the environment we're in, and especially when you're not seeing results from those choices, it's hard to stay diligent when you're not seeing results, right? It's hard to stay on something super restrictive when you just don't feel like you're getting results. I did. I felt like that. Nobody talked to me about my metabolism. Nobody talked to me about any of that. I had nutritionists giving me exactly the wrong answers towards my nutrition because they're taught the wrong way. Their books are written by not only big pharma, but big food. And so, yeah, they want us to eat more. Yeah, they want us to eat every 2 hours because they sell more food and they know that you're going to get set up to be more hungry. And that's not the route we want to go down. We want to be satiated. We want to eat what's necessary to nutriize our body, but we don't want to eat so much that we have that big calorie deficit and this all of this stuff that our body doesn't know what to do with, and then we get fat and sick. Okay. We don't want that, right? None of us want that. So to truly break free from that cycle, you got to look beyond those medications and the quick fixes and those super restrictive things and deep dig deeper into real solutions, and here it is. So, um, what I did was a simple system made up of 2 real food products, a tea that I have every morning, and a pre-meal drink that I have. The system only has it 1 a day before your biggest meal with carbohydrates. We're gonna talk about why. I personally I stopped doing that and I started feeling sick again. Some of us have just more metabolic issues, than others. So now I'm back to having fiber before I eat anything. The pre-meal drink goes in before I eat anything. Plus, hint, you guys, I have a peptic ulcer. And when I stopped having the pre-meal drink as often, the ulcer started getting worse. Peptic ulcers are generally an H. pylori infection. And what we need to overcome that is actually to feed the good bacteria, and fiber does that. Crazy, right? Who in here knew that if you have an ulcer, fiber could be something that helps you maintain health and get rid of that H. pylori infection or increase? We all have H. pylori every day, but all right, there it is. You need fiber for a number of reasons, but so we don't need any more temporary fixes. What we really need to do is add back in what's been missing all along, and your body craves real nutrient rich foods that work with its natural rhythms, not against them. So, in order to get in enough fiber in a day, and this is only one type of fiber, you'd have to eat a bushel of broccoli. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have the money, the time, or the will to sit down and eat a bushel of broccoli every day. I just don't. So, I would rather just drink something that's sustainable for me and know that I'm getting in the right fibers, the right nutrients to help me keep my blood sugar at bay. Now, the system that I'm talking about is simple and yet powerful. It includes those 2 natural real food-based products, a tea and a pre-meal drink, and together they offer a way to address the root cause of insulin resistance and metabolic health challenges without the stress of counting calories, extreme diets, or complicated regimens. So, imagine instead of starting your day with that coffee, and you can have coffee if you want, but I would start my day with the tea. With the tea, it's a concentrated yerba mate drink that helps you feel clear headed, energized, and in control of your cravings. So then, before your biggest meal, you have the pre meal drink, which stabilizes your blood sugar, helps keeping from so much of the blood absorbing into your small intestine and getting into your system in the first place. So between those two, you're not just managing symptoms, you're actively supporting your body's ability to regulate blood sugar, sustain energy, and avoid the highs and lows that come with typical diets. Now, the tea, besides energy and clarity, mental clarity, and all of this stuff, it has components in it that help increase GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1, 70% more in your body when you're drinking the tea. Now, GLP-1 is the basis for most of those weight loss drugs. They're just delivering it in such a high amount that you are not going to, we'll talk about that in the beating insulin resistance group because I get in trouble over here every time I talk about it, but it's causing your health more damage than good. This does it in a way that ebbs and flows with your body and gives you that GLP-1 when you need it, not just as a consistent onslaught on your system. So it also has chlorogenic acids, which help shut down your hunger pathways, helping you feel more satiated while it's giving you all that energy. It has antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, anti-cancer properties. Plus, it has every vitamin and mineral known to sustain health that we need to sustain health, I should say. In fact, the Argentinians who harvest it call it the food of the gods because it gives them everything they need, really, outside of fats and protein. Okay. But other than that, it's giving them the support they need to make it through tough times. And they've lived on that tea alone. This is a very highly concentrated and purified form of that tea, and it tastes like a lemon iced tea. Okay. So instead of relying on fleeting energy boosts or restrictive diets, it doesn't give you the crashes that coffee or energy drinks give you. The system offers real lasting results. And by nourishing your body in a way that's sustainable, you can start to thrive again. So picture waking up each day knowing that you have the support you need to get energized, get focused, and be free from the constant pull of hunger cravings. That's how I wake up every day for me. One of the first things I do is go make my tea. And I can tell when I do not drink my tea first thing in the morning because all of a sudden I have cravings, I have hunger, my energy is lacking, my mental space isn't quite where it was, but where it should be. So the first thing I do is mix up my tea and then I start drinking it. You don't have to drink it all at once. You can drink it. I have the two teas all mixed up in this mug and I will carry it around with me and sip on it all day long. And then I'll get two of the teas in a day, which has been proven to help so much with this weight loss and hunger cravings and satiety and all of that. So for the first time, you have some hope for overcoming insulin resistance and all the health challenges that come with it. The system can be a path of out of the health struggles that you're living with, and it's simple, it's natural, it's incredibly effective, and it's your chance to step off of the roller coaster and take back control of your own health. You love intermittent fasting. It's not letting your messages come through fully, Maria. So let's look at both of the products a little bit more in depth. Unimate and Balance and how they can work for you and help reclaim your energy. So the tea is, like I said, it's a powerful concentrated yerba mate drink, and that there are studies that show that it significantly increases that GLP-1 by up to 70%. Now the second part, the pre-meal drink, is a multi-fiber drink and it's a patented blend of fibers. I watched one doctor, there's always naysayers, and he was like, you can't patent fiber. Well, no, it's not the fiber itself. But you guys understand that every food that has fiber, the fiber in that food is directed differently in our body. It has a different, it breaks down differently. It does different things in our system. So what the company has done is combined 7 different soluble and insoluble fibers into a matrix of fibers that has been proven to drastically improve your A1C, your blood sugars, your high cholesterol. In fact, we started out with a 30-day money back guarantee that if it didn't do it, you got your money back. Now it's a 90-day money back guarantee. Give it 90 days. If it doesn't work for you, you get your money back. We even have an A1C test that you can order and do when you start the system, and then do at about 90 days and see for yourself without having to make another trip to the doctors what your A1C looks like after 90 days on the system. And it's like 49 bucks to do that test that you can do at home. So that's how much we believe in this. How many other companies actually give you a blood work test to show you that this is going to work and then give you a money back guarantee that you'll get all your money back if it's not working or if you're just not satisfied? I don't know of a drug, a doctor, another product that gives anything like that. And this actually works, as you see up here. It's been so life changing for so many people around the world. So those two products, simply a tea that's giving you satiety, it's helping your metabolism, it's helping you with sugar regulation, it's helping you with increasing the receptivity of insulin and the output of insulin so that your cells are actually responding to the insulin and the insulin's able to deal with the excess sugar instead of being inundated by it. At the same time, it's helping you start to drop weight because you have this energy. You're not looking for those snacks. I'm going to pause here. You guys understand that sometimes when we're having sugar cravings, when we're having hunger cravings, it's not just, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's very emotional, right? We have triggers. I'm an emotional person. When I have an emotion, sometimes I want to grab for a food that has a positive memory to it. And oftentimes for me, growing up in the family I grew up, love my mama, but she gave us like all sugar all the time. When we were sad, when we were celebrating, when we were like, have a piece of cake, have a bowl of ice cream, have a this, have, she baked a lot and I love her. But that set me up for having memories attached to foods that are not necessarily good for me. But the other side of hunger is this: your body is searching for energy. And again, in the food environment we have today, our body's not getting the energy and the nutrients it needs from the food that we're eating. It doesn't even know what to do with that food most of the time because it's got these chemicals, and the things that should be supporting other things have been stripped out. And nature's pretty smart. It gives us what we need in those whole foods, and we break them down and strip them apart. and that's part of our problem. But the system has identified a lot of the things that have been stripped out of our food and is giving it back to us. So now our body can recognize this nutrient as we take in the food we eat. The system is supporting your body understanding what to do with that food, is the bottom line of it. Okay, so, and it's backed by science and research, and studies show that soluble fibers, like the ones in balance, specifically the ones in balance, play a critical, or the pre-meal drink, play a critical role in controlling blood glucose levels as they slow post-meal rise in blood sugar. And that mechanism helps manage cravings and reduces the likelihood of overeating, keeping you feeling full longer. So you're getting the nutrients you need, you're feeling fuller longer, you're not eating as much, you're not reaching for all the snackety snacks, you're not reaching for all the crappy food that just keeps you hungry. You're actually satiated and your body's actually getting what it needs to be healthy. Now your hunger is going down, not just because pathways are being cued, hey, it's okay, but your body perceives that it's getting the nutrients and the energy it needs. So your hunger goes down. You're hungry because your body is struggling. You're putting in a ton of calories, you're putting in a ton of food, but it's not nutrients that your body needs. And so you're hungry all the time because your body's not getting what it needs. And so it's trying to sift through this, like trying to find a diamond in a landmine, in a landfill. That's what your body's going through with your food. That diamond is what it wants, is what it needs for the nutrients, but it has to dig through all the crap that's built up around it in that landfill. That's what our food is doing, and it's what it's doing to us today. The system just helps clear some of that away so there's less of this crud, and we get to that diamond much quicker. And the diamond is your health and you feeling better. That's something else. It's we're coming up on the holidays, and I want everyone to start thinking about this. What is the biggest gift you could give your family? At 60 years old and having gotten my family all kinds of gifts and done all kinds of things for them, the thing that I now understand means most to my family is my own health. Them not worrying about me, them seeing me thrive, them knowing I'm going to be around to be there for them much longer. It's not a selfish, it is a selfish, but it's not a selfish thing to take care of your health first. And I want you guys to understand that before you go spending money on all kinds of crazy things that aren't really enriching your life and that your family isn't going to remember in 2 years, in 3 years, in a year from now. Why don't you invest in giving your family the fullness of you, that you have health, that they don't have to worry about, being, my son used to worry that the state I was in, that I was going to have Alzheimer's. I had a walker, I had a cane. He was afraid that they were either going to have to put me in a nursing home in the next few years, or they were going to have to take care of me. And he has a disabled child. It's not a burden he wanted. Since I started the system and got my health back, he's relieved of all of that stress. He knows I've got it. And that, and he will admit to that, is probably the biggest gift I've ever given him in my life. I invite you guys to understand that too. So these two products work together in a comprehensive solution that challenges insulin resistance. Okay, so Unimonte's impact on GLP-1 levels supports sustained energy and craving control, while the pre-meal drink, the multi-fiber complex, regulates blood sugars and helps you feel fuller longer. And with both products working together in synergy, you're providing your body real support for long-lasting energy, hunger control, and stable blood sugar, helping you finally escape the cycle of energy cravings, crashes, and blood sugar spikes. Now, I'm going to go more into depth about the system over on the Beating Insulin Resistance page tonight, and I'll answer a lot of questions about the products. We can talk about all of that. Join that group at 8 p.m. tonight. I'll do a product overview. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about why it's so effective. We'll get more into the science of it, and hopefully you'll understand that this simple solution can actually make change in your life. Yeah. So you guys, and I will have it up after this live is over in my link tree. I will let's see, this will be on my YouTube channel at Brilliant Health. It'll be on my Facebook I will try to put a comment in the group for what the a link to this beating insulin resistance group. And I'd love to see you guys in there. We're gearing up to give you guys a lot more value, answer the questions that are important to you about insulin resistance, whether it's diet, intermittent fasting, the supplements. We're going to give a lot of value in that group. So just join me there. All right. So what happens when you do this? Maria's been on the system. Maria, has it helped you? How do you feel? And then when people start using this system, they often find it's more than just adding products into their daily routine. It's a complete shift toward a healthier, more vibrant life. And the system allows you to experience what life feels like when blood sugar is balanced, cravings are under control, and energy stays steady throughout the day. So it's not just me and my beautiful friends up here, but there are some other stories I want to share with you. First, I talked to you about mine. At 60, I feel, let's see, when I think about my transformation, no, much better, love it, can't live without it. There you go. I'm going to share everybody else's stories before mine. Okay. So we have Lisa, who, before starting the system, described herself as living on a sugar roller coaster. Every afternoon, she would crash, feeling desperate for sugary snacks just to keep her energy up. But once she started using the system, the crashes stopped. And she now experiences, sorry, I have some notes, now experiences steady energy throughout the day and has even lost some weight. So she says, I didn't realize how much blood sugar spikes were affecting my focus and my mood. And she says, now I feel more in control of my appetite and my day. So her story is one from moving from dependency on sugar to a place of balance and energy. Then there's Mark, who struggled with his weight and felt like no amount of dieting could help him lose it. With the system, he's not only lost weight, but completely transformed his eating habits. He says the pre-meal drink keeps him feeling satisfied after meals, so he's not constantly looking for something else to eat. And the tea gives him this incredible energy that doesn't leave him jittery. He says, it's been a game changer for my workday. So for Mark, the system has become a way to feel in control of his health and maintain focus and energy throughout his day. I lost a lot of weight. Yes, please send me pictures, Maria. You know what? Why don't you shoot me a time when it would be good to talk to you? I would love to get your story and highlight you. You're such a beautiful soul. I would love to highlight your story and just show what can happen, and in that way be helping some other people understand that this can actually work too. So Maria, I'm going to write this down because I need to get a hold of you today and get your story. But we also have Sarah, who um, the changes aren't just physical. For her, it's been mental and emotional. Sarah used to rely on caffeine and sugary snacks to get her through her long work days. And now, with the tea giving her focus and the pre-meal drink managing her blood sugar, she says she feels calmer, more focused, and way less stressed about food. She describes feeling like a weight has been lifted, freeing her to focus on her work and enjoy her life without constantly thinking about her next snack. Yes, that was me. I like these stories, I hear myself all over them. Every time I read a new story, it's like, oh my gosh, you guys, when you're sending me these, I'm like, yep, I get that. Yep, I get that. All of us do. We just don't talk about it. And so we all feel alone, like I said earlier. But I'm just sharing a couple of those stories because I want you to understand that it really does work. And it's helping so many people around the world. And I know some of y'all got to think about it for a while. Some of y'all are like, I'm ready. If you're ready, use the link in my profile. I'll drop it in over on Facebook, YouTube. But if not, just hang out, follow me, watch what we have to say. And then when you're ready, let me know and let's get you feeling better. Also, I'm going to say it again. Join the Facebook group because I'm going to start sharing more of the in-depth value there. Again, for whatever reason, and I'm not going to get into all of my thoughts about it, but TikTok has been throttling. Even when I show scientific research and stuff, there's a problem with. I think it's, you know what, I'm going to say this on live. I think it's because they created the TikTok shop, and those of us who are not putting products in the shop to sell through there so that they can get their cut. They don't like it. And so our product can't be put in the TikTok shop. You cannot buy it from anywhere and get all the guarantees unless you're buying it through a link like mine. Okay. So join Beating Insulin Resistance. I'll put the links up. We'll see you guys. I will be doing less of the lives on TikTok just because I have so much else going on and I want to share value with you guys. I'm going to try and give you more of the short videos. More of the real teaching is going to happen in Beating Insulin Resistance from here on out. So join me there. Now, you've had a lot. Yes. So the other thing is, yes, I do represent these products for the company on the back of me having such great success with my own health. It has helped me drastically increase my income and give me time freedom and family freedom that I never thought was possible and travel. If you're interested in doing something like that, let me know. I have another group where we talk about that called Business Hero, and you're welcome to join that group and learn more about the business opportunity as well. So either way, if you just want the products, I never push. Maria, have I ever pushed you about the business before we go? Have I ever been like scammy, spammy, Maria, you got to join this? I don't think I've ever even really talked to you about it much. So that's not my jam, you guys. I'm looking for people who want to move forward with their health. I'm looking for people who want to move forward with their wealth, and I have solutions that can work for both of those things. So thank you for spending time with me today. I will be live in both of those groups tonight, explaining both the business and explaining the products. So I'll get those links up. If you want to join me live and learn about the business more, join that group because that's the only place I'll be doing it, or ask me for the Zoom link and I can get you a Zoom link. And then the product presentation where we talk more in depth about exactly what this stuff is and why it works. We'll be doing both of those tonight. So we'll see you there. And then have a great weekend, you guys. I'm full on busy trying to pack and get ready to move in less than a week. And I don't feel like I'm ready. Okay. Love you all. Donna Lynn, I see you. I love seeing your posts. You're one of the people that I see posts from all the time, and I really love when you come up on my timeline. Donna Lynn also does the system. So you guys, we'll see you later. Join the groups. I'll put the links up. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and know that you do not have to suffer either in your health or in your wealth. It's much simpler to fix this than you can imagine. The products are in my link. So I don't know how to say your name. But look, I do it that way, not because I'm trying to gatekeep. I kind of am, but kind of not. I'm trying to protect you guys. When you see the product and then you go out and, like, number one, you sat here and you've listened to me and you've understood a lot and I've done a lot of teaching. I would be very grateful if you purchase from me and I get that credit from it, as opposed to the next person you see and go, oh yeah, I remember her talking about this. I really want to do it. And then you go buy from them and I don't get anything for it. Yeah, that's kind of selfish, but that's what I'm here for. Also, if you buy from someplace like Amazon, eBay, Walmart, you're not getting the 90-day money back guarantee. You're not getting the satisfaction guarantee, and you're not getting the quality guarantee. You don't get those unless you buy from an authorized link like mine. Okay, so that's why I do that. I have a website. You can go, the product names are all there. Go look at the website. Go read some of the information. There's some FAQs on there. Most of the questions you have will be answered on my website. There's some more success stories on my website. Go check that out. It's a quick read. Go check that out, and that'll give you most of your answers. So the which live. So I will be going live at 7 p.m. about the product, and then at 8 p.m. about the business. Okay. So join me in the product live. And then if you're interested in hopping over to the business live, message me on that one. That one the product live is only going to be in the Beating Insulin Resistance group. If you're not a Facebook person and you just want the Zoom link, I'm more than happy to give that to you, but you just got to message me and I will get you those. But 7 p.m., I didn't say that. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific time for the product. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific for the business part. Okay. So Adamus, just join me. I will get you, if you just message me, let me screenshot this and let's make sure we're friends. I will send you the links, both to the business and the product groups, and let's get you the information you need. Otherwise, you guys will see you all tonight, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. It was great serving you today, and hopefully we'll get you some more information tonight that makes sense. Be able to ask all the questions you need in there, and we'll get those answers. Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for joining, you guys.